Hey everybody, this is Joe again. I'm sorry that my last video just ended so abruptly. The first half, I'm calling it my first half of this video. My phone battery died and it was just like, peace out. And that was the end of the video. So here's part two. If you haven't seen part one, I'll tell you that I'm Joe. I'm here in Houston, Texas, in my cottage butterfly garden. And I'm just getting ready to kind of show you the end. Here is the amazing, and this is the next day from my last video, so you can even see one of my Monarda little stems blooming more than it was in the last video. So I was just looking at that wonderful view. Now let me show you what's back here. Of course, the horror of waiting for the bluebonnets. It's driving me crazy. But this beautiful parsley, look how pretty, you guys. I'm loving the parsley. I do think that next year I will support it before it really gets big. You can see I've got some little gates, sort of stick them in the ground supports here, but I think that next year when I do this, which I definitely will, I will get some kind of support and make it really tight around those small pots. This is just about 3 4-inch pots of parsley that I planted in the fall. It's fine over the winter, unprotected during freezes. And but I would make the space that it can grow into very tight so that it's upright all the time. It really doesn't have a chance to fall over. This, I let it fall over a little bit and then I tried to prop it up, and that is not as effective. And this is a butterfly host, as I've mentioned earlier. This is a butterfly host for the eastern black swallowtail butterfly. I do love it with the larkspur. This purple larkspur has lasted the longest, and I'm loving this little combination of the yellow and the purple. So pretty. I've got a lot of cleome coming up here. I just chucked different seeds out, and I am having to keep things weeded, like that is a weed. And also I've been cutting back. I've got this wonderful purple sweet potato vine, but it is very aggressive. And so while I was waiting for these little cleomes to get big enough, I just cut this back, cut it back, and kept it really tall and tight, small and tight, so that it would get out of the way for the smaller seedlings. And now these will get big, and I'll let that sort of ground cover under it. These are crocosmia that have not come out, but they sure have a pretty look to them. I supported them. They tend to fall over as well, and I have supports for them, but they would do better with a very tall support from the minute they leaf out. This is a little porterweed. So pretty. This is native to Texas. And this one is really small, but it has the option of getting really big. But this has a bit of shade, and so it'll be interesting. Had one die here last year, and so this is its replacement. So we'll see how big it gets. But I love it. And then next to it, more of the grasses. And then back in here is another native plant called dwarf Barbados cherry, and it is blooming. Look how sweet that is. Such cute little flowers. It's not super showy, but cute little flowers, and it really actually will have little cherries on it that birds really like. And then this is a big mess back here, and a lot of all these weeds, all those vines are just weeds. And I've got old blush still blooming away back here. And then, oh, let me go this way. Then I have planted in a pot some dahlias or dahlias. You guys have to help me figure out how to say it right. And I'm not making another video, so it's gonna have to stay in. Listen, if you watch my channel, you know I'm ridiculous anyway. And if you're new, I apologize. I'm ridiculous. These are dahlias. And they are, I put them already. This is what I should be doing, except I have 1,000 supports. I planted these inside the support, so when they grew, they would grow right up inside of it. So I've got them in a pot. They're growing up inside this neat little obelisk. And I've been really good about pinching the middle out, like you can see right there, so I can double the flowers that I will get. And these are new ones. To me, I don't even quite remember. I think I kept the packaging to see see what color it is. But I'm excited to have, I did have good luck, pretty good luck with dahlias last year, even though it's Texas and it's hot. I do have them in some shade. It's about a half a day's shade because they just cannot take that, that can't take that heat in the summer. Now I go amongst the mess to show you a few more things. This is the Texas Rock Rose. Isn't it fantastic? And it will get really big and fill this space in, because this parsley is not going to make it through the summer. As soon as it gets really hot, that's it. And so then I will have this to take care of that space, to fill that space in. And it's going to hang over into the gravel over the walkway, which is fine by me. And then here's another one of those double click cranberry cosmos that's supposed to be 4 feet tall. And again, like false advertising, cosmos people. And then I do have a little bit of Amy back there. I transplanted it. It does not like to be moved. And so it stayed really small. And then I've got a little agastache back here. It's not getting very big, but it seems fairly happy. And this is Lance Leaf Coreopsis. Look how fantastic. You guys, I love it. And if you just keep deadheading it, it keeps blooming. You can see I have a lot that needs to be clipped off. Next to it is some milkweed. This is aquatic milkweed, and I think it's so pretty, such pretty little flowers on it. And I've already had one sort of group of monarchs come through, and so this is sort of grown back up out of that. This I'm loving. It has come back so beautifully. This is called frost flower, and a lot of different things are called frost flower. And so I just basically used Google image to figure out what plant this was. I've forgotten, but you could technically take a screenshot and that will show up really well on a Google image search. It came back, it froze to the ground. Goodness, it's almost 4 feet high. It froze to the ground. It was just fine in this zone. It hasn't spread. It's gotten bigger. It doesn't spread, so you don't have to worry about it taking over your garden. And it gets a fair amount of shade over here, and so I really like it. I think it's beautiful. All my amaryllis are finished. This is a Texas native called false indigo. It's a butterfly host. It's supposed to have purple flowers. I have yet to ever see a flower on this. And so at least it's pretty foliage, and so I've left it, but I haven't had anything ever bloom on it. Here is some sort of volunteer purple hyacinth bean vine, and you can see it already has beans on it. And then I've got some salvia that I moved back here. This is salvia big blue that I moved out here. Coral nymph salvia, look how pretty. Tons of cleome. Now you guys can come on an adventure with me. This is all coralberry, and look how awful. I think it's got spider mite. It's so awful. Look how terrible. And so I've talked to a friend of mine who is a way better gardener than me, and our consensus was to just literally, because I don't want to spray any insecticide on here, and also it looks so awful. I'm going to water it really well. I'm going to cut it down, and I'm going to hope for the best. I'm going to throw this in the trash, not in my compost, and I'm going to hope for the best because this is a hot mess. So just chopping it back is going to be my plan. I wish I had done it when it was not quite so hot outside, but we'll all go on this journey together to see whether that was a good choice or whether I just kill all of it. Now, the further back we go, the weedier it gets. As far as things like this is all a butterfly host plant for the painted lady butterfly, or the American lady, I'm not sure. And it is called cudweed, and it is just as ugly a plant as you can imagine. I mean, there's nothing remotely pretty about that plant, in my opinion. But I love those butterflies. So I'm going to let this go back here and just stay ugly. It doesn't matter. No one sees it. And so I'm okay with that. I have planted more of the hyacinth bean vine. It's supposed to be covering this, but it hasn't gotten on it. I need to cover it. This pretty thing is a Texas kidney wood. It's a butterfly host. It's a small tree. It can be a shrub. I think it's about as big as it's gonna get, which is maybe, I don't know, 12 or 15 feet high. So fluffy and pretty. Has white flowers in the kind of fall, and the bees really like it. And then this is a parsley hawthorn, which has yet to bloom for me, and it's got a vine growing up in the middle of it, but it should have beautiful flowers this spring. It may be too young a plant to really flower, but I've got to get all that vine out of there. This is a Martha Gonzalez rose. There is not a tougher rose on the planet. And if you like red roses, it grows about 4 feet tall. It blooms, and it blooms in a lot of shade, actually. Here, it doesn't get a lot of shade, but it is between buildings, so it kind of overhead heat of the day sun. But I've had it kind of tucked up under a bush and up under a tree, and it's still bloomed really well. So I recommend it if you're looking for a red, kind of tough rose. That's a good one. This is, and here and there, and then another one. This is all arrowwood viburnum, and it is finally blooming. It will have, I'm sorry, I've got the air conditioner running back here. It will have berries for the birds in the fall. But look how pretty. It doesn't bloom for long, but look how beautiful. And it's just, this is its second full year in the ground, and it has leapt by leaps and bounds. I will keep it trimmed so I have some walkway here, but it should only get about as tall as the fence. And so I think it's a nice privacy kind of plant if you just need something about as tall as the fence, or if you want to kind of hide a fence. I think this is a good choice. More crocosmia, more sea oats, inland sea oats. Here's more arrowwood viburnum, which is native Texas. Oh, I'm sorry, it's so loud, you guys. So loud. But I want to show you. This is native. That is a coral honeysuckle, and that is a native Texas plant, and it's also excuse me, it is also a butterfly host, but that is worth growing. So beautiful and such a pretty color. More viburnum getting ready to bloom there, and that is more of that Minoan lace, which is just, it's just fantastic. I really like it. Let me get you one last little look at something pretty away from the air conditioner. This is one of the toughest begonias. I don't know the name of it, but it's very specific. It's kind of coral and white. And this stuff can take some sun. This gets about, oh gosh, 2 or 3 hours of direct sun, full sun Texas. And it is fine. I keep it watered. I turn it a little bit every week, or it really grows towards the sun. You can see I haven't turned it, so it's a little more pitiful here. I've had it last for 2 years. This is the one that I just rip up and stick in a bag and put it in the house if it's freezing and put it back in. It was a little pitiful the second year I've done that, so I did find some more. But I've never known a begonia that could take sun, and certainly not in Texas, direct sun. This was fine for a couple of hours. I think it's a terrific plant. Well, thanks for watching this second video, and I apologize for the abrupt end to the first one. Let me see if I can finish on such a pretty plant out here, such a pretty view. I'm in love with it, you guys. I hope you are having so much fun playing in your garden and planting things and enjoying your garden and the fruits of your labor. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.